Align and Awaken with Mother Earth Rising podcast. Let's rise and heal together with me, Pippa, your Mother Earth healer. Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm super excited for this episode. I have just been chatting to a wonderful lady just before we press record for this episode. I have the beautiful Claire Stone with me. Claire is the founder of the Angel Mystery School, and she is a Hay House author of the Female Archangels. I've been dying to chat to Claire, and we know today she's come at the exact right time, considering what we've just been talking about. Claire, it is insane, isn't it?
Hi Pippa, thanks so much for having me on here. And yeah, we have had so much synchronicity and amazing conversations already that we wished we'd press record half an hour ago, don't we?
Yeah, like I was literally about to just think, should I just press record midway for this conversation? Because we just hit it off straight away, because that's what I love about this life and how we connect with people like instantly, and knowing that everything's just there for you, nothing's an accident.
Yeah, we're always divinely guided, and I'm sure that you feel strongly as well, like I do, that this session, like I just had goosebumps speaking to you, definitely divinely guided.
Oh, I love it. And all the little synchronicities in the guide, like the last 24 hours, all the synchronicities you've had, especially like New Zealand and Wayne, and I just love it. I love it so much. So I want you to just tell the listeners before we get into like the meat of the episode is how you like kind of fell into spirituality. Were you born with it? Was it something you connected to later in life? What's your background story?
Okay, so I was born seeing angels and spirit and communicating with them. But my family were strong Christians, and they were really frightened of my mediumship, things that I used to say, my predictions. It really frightened them. So, I went to Sunday school every week until I was about 11, and the church and my family were just constantly trying to shut me down, basically. But I always had this really strong feeling that what they were teaching me in the church, and this is no disrespect to anybody who's into church and that, but it just felt like there was something missing, and this could not be the entire truth, the entire reality of life and creation. It just didn't ring true. I always had this sense that there was more. And when I got to about 13 years old, all me and my friends would go shopping, and they'd be buying lip gloss, magazines, t-shirts. I'd be buying little Buddha statues, incense. There was no one in my family who was into anything other than Christianity. But I was interested in Buddhism. I was interested in like, who is God? What's the meaning of life? Why am I here? What's the point in all of this? I also, from being a kid as well, I could also come out of my body. So I'm talking astral projection. I'd come out of my body when my body was asleep, and then I'd go and see what my grandparents were doing downstairs, what they were watching on TV, what they were eating for the supper, because they always made something to eat at 10 o'clock when the 10 o'clock news came on. And then I'd tell them the next morning, and they would say, "You've got the devil in you, stop saying it. Stop saying these evil things. Why would you do that?" So it was very conflicting situation for me to be in, when my soul is so desperately longing to know, why am I here? And then I'm being taught something entirely different. So I then became a bit of a rebel and started reading tarot cards, which was really bad if you went to church. So I was reading tarot cards at 14. I then studied holistic therapies when I around 18, and I've never looked back, doing readings, healings. Angels are my life. Spirituality is my hobby, my passion. It's everything to me.
I'm the same. Like, I love that story because I know that you're so close to home for me as well. So I could just picture you walking around St. Helens in all the shops and things. So it's just like, it's crazy, like you being so close to where I live. And I feel like when you say it's your life and it's your passion, it really is like, for me, when I connected to spirituality more, it just made sense. every single bit that I read or I listened to, it all just made perfect sense. And even when I was younger, I was the same as you, Claire. Yeah, like I fell into the trap of, buying clothes and, going with the crowd. But then when I was on my own, I would really question everything. Like, why are the stars there? And why is this planet there? And why does the moon come out every day? And that's like the inquisitive side that I had. But I know a lot of my listeners find all of this fascinating, and I never really got into tarot because I was more about the oracle side and the angel cards. But how would you say tarot is different to like the oracle and angel side of the cards?
To me, tarot gives you a really in-depth reading, where for oracle, that's just kind of like, you want to know one thing or you want to know a bit of guidance, let's whip out an oracle card. Now, I've got about 50 decks of oracle cards. I love them. But if I'm doing a full reading for someone, I definitely use the tarot. For me, it gets into like a deeper level. But again, cards are just tools. So there are people who will just use oracle cards and they could do just as good a reading than someone might do with tarot. I just feel, because there's a lot more cards in the deck as well, it just feels like there's more. I just love the story and the mythology surrounding the tarot as well.
Yeah, like a lot of it's like the history of it is too. Like I love all that kind of stuff. But like you said, then it's a tool. Ultimately, you're the channel, you're the messenger. And that's why it's so powerful to connect to what's right for you. There is no right and wrong way, it's just finding what resonates with you and actually just standing in that truth and saying, I prefer tarot or I prefer oracle. Like I prefer oracle. Like I love I've got like about 20, 30 decks, which I've had to pack about 20 of them for New Zealand because they're so heavy. So the other thing I wanted to ask, and we mentioned it before we started this recording, Claire, was about angel guides, because I know everyone has angel guides, and I know obviously bits about some are there from like birth, some come later in life. So how do people know that they have angel guides around them, and how do they connect to them?
Well, everybody has a guardian angel that is with you from before you are born. When we create our soul's contract before we incarnate on Earth or anywhere else for that matter, we'll have at least one guardian angel that teams up with us and they stay with us throughout this entire journey. Then we have helper angels. So I meet angels. I met a new angel. It was just before lockdown. I went for an angelic Reiki healing off a local girl. I'd never been to her before. And she had her hands down by my abdomen and I could feel an angel up by my head. And this is so cliche, but I'm going to say it. I could feel like feathers cupping the side of my face. And this angel was stood behind me. So I tuned in. I had to see the angel with my third eye because I had my eyes closed, which is called mental mediumship, when you see a being in your mind's eye, and it's called physical mediumship if you see them physically stood next to you. Now, I see angels with both, but this time it was in my mind's eye, and this gorgeous angel was like a column of light with a humanistic form within it, but it didn't look like a human, but it did look like a human, if that makes sense. It's pure energy. Angels are non-physical beings. And it was all these gorgeous shades of orange and pale yellows. It was so nice. So I'd never met this angel before. And I'm either angels, anyone, I'm either them all. So I said, hey, angel, what's your name? And she said her name was Joy. And after the healing session, I said to the healer, who doesn't know who I am, she doesn't know my story and everything. I just booked in with her. And I said to her, there was a lovely angel that joined us and her name was Joy. Well, her face dropped and she said, I can't believe you've met Joy. She said, I've been asking everybody and Googling her. I've not found anything about this angel. She said, but I feel like she is an archangel. And I said, well, I think that Joy is your guardian angel because you've been working with her for so long. But in my online angel mystery school, I told them about joy because she kept leaving me synchronicities everywhere. Like I was in York for my birthday and I was walking down the street and someone had written joy in the living room window in giant letters. It said joy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was in Marks and Spencer's going to get something off one of the shelves. And yeah, of course, it was nearly Christmas, but on the wrong shelf in the food aisle was these three robins, and they were holding the letters Joy, joy. So I shared this with the students in Angel Mystery School, and they all started connecting to joy as well, and she was leaving signs for them. So I think that this angel stepped in because she wanted to increase our joy, and even if that was just a little perk by some kind of synchronicity or knowing that we're not alone, but the angels wanted us to know that it's important for us to try and be joyful because we are in difficult times, and we've got to keep our chin up and keep our vibe up, and we do that through happiness, don't we?
We do. I love that. And whenever you tell me about signs, I just smile. Like I light up so much when people tell me about the signs, especially when I've had clients and they send me like the feathers and we've said, we've set like an intention to have a sign that week, and within 24 hours, the sign's there. And I know a lot of people listening kind of get used to seeing signs, and that's why I get them to switch it up as well, because feathers is one of my huge signs, and I'll switch it up. I'll ask for certain numbers, I'll ask for a certain song, I'll ask for a flower. So it's all about having the fun side of it. So with you, Claire, like how do you connect to your angel guides, and how do you connect to just even your spirit guides? Like what would you do to really hone in on that energy?
Well, because I do it every day, obviously it gets very easy. Eventually you can just literally, as if you're going to speak to someone in the next room, you can just say like, hey, such a body, whatever the name is, and they're there. But the way I teach this, because I'm more leaning towards now that my mission is, rather than doing readings for other people, is to get people to be able to do this themselves, to connect to their own guides, their own angels, and retrieve their own divine messages, because that is what we can all do. So the way that I teach other people to do this, and I did this, I was on telly in December on Channel 4, and it's called Steph's Packed Lunch. And it was called The Angel Experiment. And I wanted everybody who was watching the show to simply close their eyes. And in fact, shall we do this now?
Yeah, I feel that right. I was just about to say that right then.
Okay, so everybody listening, you might want to pause it and grab some incense and a candle, or you can just do it with absolutely nothing. And then just sitting with your spine upright, your feet flat on the floor, and just tilt your chin slightly upwards, because I feel that it kind of activates the third eye. If you'll feel a tingling on the forehead if you're slightly looking upwards. And then closing down your eyes and focusing on your breath. Taking a nice, slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feeling the physical body becoming heavier. And now try and sense your auric field, the energy, the physical energy that surrounds your body. And try and visualize, sense, or intend that you have got a beautiful golden layer of light surrounding you, and you just sit in your orb of light, relaxing, breathing. And we're going to invite your guardian angel to connect with you now. So either out loud or in your mind, just repeat after me. Guardian angel, guardian angel, guardian angel. Beautiful angel of light, I invite you to stand behind me now, to open me up to your divine, loving presence. And just see if you can sense or feel your beloved guardian angel stepping into your aura bubble, right behind you, placing their hands of light upon your shoulders. And you can feel their love as it pours into your heart. Receive. And your guardian angel may give you a message. The first thing you receive, take on board. And I want you to set an intention with your angel now. And think of something totally random that you wouldn't expect to see. So we're not going to choose a white feather. Something random, a purple feather, a parrot. Choose something random and ask in your mind's eye, guardian angel, if you're really there. I really want to get to know you. I want to make this connection. Please send me a sign in the physical world sometime this week. And tell your angel what you want to see. And your angel takes a step back. Take a breath. Becoming aware of the physical body, just wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Love that.
And now you let that go. You don't go outside looking for a parrot's feather, or you simply let it go and be ready to be surprised. And when the angels can be very, very subtle if you're not used to working with them. So don't be disheartened if you didn't have this big uplifting moment. If you absolutely didn't see, feel, sense anything, that's totally normal. It's like exercising a muscle when you go to the gym. We've got to practice these things. You've got to practice your third eye so that you can receive your angels in this physical way. But when I was on the TV show, that Steph's Packed Lunch, I was inundated with people who received their signs. Some girl, she asked for an orange Mini, the car.
Yeah.
And she seen one. She thought there was like no way that she was going to, and she sent me the photograph of it. There was a man who, I don't know these people, there were people who were watching the show. He asked for an elephant, and then he told me that the show that was on directly after Steph's Packed Lunch was about elephants. In the actual studio, one of the crew asked for a teapot, and this was just before Christmas, and a lady comes walking in with this Christmas pudding shaped teapot, and we're all just looking at each other like wow, it's happened already. So the angels, they can perform miracles, and just the thing is to invite them in. And remember, the angels work under the law of free will. So they don't intervene in our lives. They let us get on with it. But the moment you say, come on, angels, please help me out with this, that's when they will start helping you to do things, because that's when they're allowed to.
I love that. And that's kind of like what people, when they understand that, they're always there to help you. So it's always just, a lot of people think they need the physical presence to, you said, if you don't feel anything, it doesn't mean they're not there. It just means it's practice, isn't it? Like, especially when you do start to have more of an awakening and you connect into spirituality. When people meditate, they just kind of give up straight away because they just don't feel anything and they can't concentrate. But again, it's like anything, isn't it? Especially from being like when we're children, when we're learning something new, like writing and reading. If we just couldn't read a first page and said, oh, I'll give up, I'm not reading for the rest of my life, it just wouldn't be the case. So think of it like that. It's a new skill. It's a new way of life. It's like for me, when I had my quantum shift last year, it is really just like having a new set of eyes. Everything now it's like, I don't know about you, Claire, but it's like I observe everything a lot differently, especially because I do a lot of work with people's triggers and their anxiety around, when a situation or a person, affects their ego and then they drop into that real toxic state of energy. I can really help them observe that and be like, well, this is what's happening and the tools to get forward and what happens when it happens next time.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is connecting to the angels and your guides too, and that we have spirit guides as well, don't we? Which we've just been talking about before this call, about how we just connected today, and we both have a common guide who's our spiritual teacher, who's Wayne Dyer, and all my listeners know how much I adore his work, and it's just crazy how you were sent so many signs in the last 24 hours to do with this call. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I think they're working really hard behind the scenes to get us to be intrigued, to get us excited, to get us believing. They're doing all kinds, aren't they? So much synchronicities going on.
There is, and I think that's kind of like the key thing for people as well, is that some people come to me and say, I don't see signs and I don't see numbers. And I think for people who have that question, is for me, and I know you'll probably answer something similar, Claire, is it's being present, isn't it? And connecting, because if we're not present and we're just thinking about what's for dinner, what we're doing tomorrow, what's on, we're not connecting to that present moment. And that's how we do, connecting to the breath. We are going to miss those signs because we're not fully aware of it. And the more I've connected and the more I've become present, I see things that like I haven't even noticed in my mum's garden. That's how significant it becomes.
Yeah, and it's like, the story that I just told you about with the Christmas pudding teapot. When the lady came in with a teapot and she's giving people cups of teas, the girl who'd set the intention for her angel to bring her a teapot, she didn't immediately notice it. It was me, because I'm always like, I knew she'd set the intention for the teapot, because she asked me if it was a stupid intention, and I was like, no way, that's fantastic. You're not expecting to see a teapot in this TV studio. But yeah, she didn't immediately see it, and it was me that pointed and said, look, there's your teapot. And I did wonder, and I thought, would she have noticed this teapot if I hadn't pointed it out? So it's that unattachment. So if we are attached to an outcome, we're clinging on, we block it from actually happening. So that was why I said just let the intention go. But equally, you do need to keep that sense of presence, that wonder, that it is going to happen for you without that clinging.
Yeah, because it can happen in so many unexpected ways. I used to do that when I was in Australia 2 years ago. I would get, like, in my group, I would get them to think of an object and a random colour, and just or even an animal, like whatever it was, just tell them to think of a colour, think of an animal object, and let it manifest. And I remember one time I'd picked a gold dog. And I didn't mean a gold dog like a golden retriever. I meant like just a gold dog. And I just let it go. And I actually forgot about it, but it was still there because I'd set the intention. And I remember 2 weeks later, I was in Sydney and I was trying to get an Uber, and the first Uber cancelled. And I was like, oh, I need to get to the other side of Sydney. And it was just so far. And I wanted an Uber. And I ended up getting another Uber we did a pool. So I was like sharing it with other people. And the front seat was available because obviously the back three were taken. And as I got into the car, there was a gold dog that was like shaking on the dashboard, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And that's one of my big moments where I just thought, and then how the first Uber cancelled, and the second Uber was a pool, so I had to share it, and the front seat was for me because I may have not seen it in the back seat. So it's just, I think. It's just wonderful how those signs are always around us, and that when we actually start to see them, it's a lot like it's what Wayne says, when we say, oh, I'll see it when I believe it, it's the opposite, isn't it? I'll believe it when I see it. It's just, it's the opposite of that kind of phrase of it's always happening, but it's having that level of belief and faith that they're sending signs all the time, especially my partner and I were separated by obviously physical presence at the moment because he's in New Zealand, I'm here in the UK. And when we sleep, because we're 13 hours difference, we're telepathic, so we can happily wake each other up at the angel numbers. So we wake up at 222, 333, and our connection is huge. And it just goes to show, especially with signs that happen overnight. And I tend to channel a lot when I'm asleep. I don't know about you, Claire, but I'm more of I channel a lot when I'm asleep. So when I wake up, it's that state of you're still half asleep. So it's that, is it theta stage where you cannot fully awake? And I get messages from my angels, I get messages from spirit, I get messages from my guides, and I love it. And I think one thing I wanted to ask you, Claire, was the people who fear it, like how can you help them get through that? Because someone thinking of an angel being behind them some people it could spook them out, but for me it's that light energy, isn't it? It's focusing on that they're actually there to protect you and to guide you.
I always say to people, so who is it that you pray to? Because in moments of panic, fear, I think it's fair to say that most of us will pray to someone, won't we? Even if it's, oh God, please help me, or some people pray to Jesus, Buddha. We all have unique masters that we might call in. And so I always say to people who are getting to know the angels or the spirit guides, and actually this is the way that I encourage people to do it, is to call in whoever they pray to so that they know that they are safe. So say if you had gone to church and you believed in the power of Christ, you love Jesus, but you're a bit, these angels dodgy or what, then you would call in Jesus and ask him to be surrounding you, protecting you while you experiment with these angels of light. And then the next step will be the spirit guides, because I think that angels and spirit guides, this is how I describe it. Tuning into them is like tuning into different radio stations. They're on different frequencies, total different vibrations. And spirits have had human lives. So like us, they have an ego, they have a personality, and angels do not. So I always encourage people to, if they don't communicate with any, then to communicate with angels first, just so that they can lay down strong foundations of psychic protection first, because that is so important. So that the message that you're getting, they are divine messages. Because this has happened a few times where you could give a reading to someone, and just say, for example, that you're doing a mediumship type of reading, and a family member comes through, and they might give you their opinion, but that might not be what's the highest good for that person. Do you get what I mean? So
yeah, because it's determining what it's kind of using your gifts too, isn't it?
Yeah, because like for example, one time this woman had come and her partner had cheated on her, and her nan come through and she's saying, leave him. But that's because that's what she wanted him to do, because she was so angry. Whereas the angels knew that they would actually heal and repair this relationship. So that's why I like to get my messages off angels. And again, that's no disrespect. I know some fantastic mediums, and I visit mediums myself when I feel like someone else doing a reading for me. But that's just the way that I like to do it, and how I encourage people to work with the angels, because this is the age of Aquarius. We're all waking up, and we need to up our game, don't we? So why not go straight to the highest beings of light that can help us to evolve with our own spiritual ascension? Because again, that's not what spirit do, but spirit guides can.
Yeah, there's like the difference, isn't it? And I think it's using your own intuition as well, because you'll know exactly that. When I'm channeling, it's like automatic for me, so I can't really, like, we're all different, aren't we? Where when I channel, it's just what's coming out on through my pen and paper, and especially sometimes it's on my notes on my phone if I'm like half asleep in the night. And when I was doing that little meditation that you did before, Claire, my angels were just saying, this gift, you have to keep embracing it. And I know what they're talking about, because one gift that I have is the channeling of spirit, and it happens overnight. And I think my angels are always pushing me to do it when I'm like now in the middle of the day, going into that state, of feeling aligned with this, because obviously when you're asleep it's a bit different, isn't it, when you're half asleep, but now it's doing it when I'm actually awake in the day.
I got a message 2 days ago when I was in this kind of state that you're talking in. Do you want me to read it to you? It's on my notepad here.
Please, yeah.
It says, if you live in ignorance, you will only understand what it is meant to live upon your death. If you understand death during life, you will truly live.
I've just read that yesterday on the Tao.
Shush.
About dying when we're alive.
The same
It was
thing.
one of the verses that I read. Yeah. There's another synchronicity. Literally, it was literally about, because obviously I'm reading Wayne's interpretation of the Tao, because I know you love the Tao too, and so does my partner Chris. He's read the 81 verses, and I'm on, I think, verse 39, something like that. And one of the verses this week was about fully dying, like the ego, like fully dying the ego while we're alive. That's truly where we need to be.
Yeah. Well, what I kind of got from what I written was, if you live in ignorance, now I changed that to unconsciously because I didn't want to put ignorance. Mm-hmm. You'll only understand what it's meant to live upon your death. To me, that meant so many of us, we think that we are immortal and we put things off and we don't live our best life. But if you knew that you only had a week to live, what would you do? What would you do this week? What would you do today? Who would you contact? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's only when people are dying or when they've crossed over that they think, God, I didn't really live.
Have you watched Disney's new movie, The Soul?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
So, yeah, like I'm a Disney fanatic, and my listeners will be laughing because they just know how much I love Disney. Now, Disney for me does something to me. It really shakes my soul. It just really like Beauty and the Beast is my favorite, and every other movie that I just love all of the Disney movies. So when Soul came out, me and Chris watched it because we have like little Zoom dates, which is really cute. And we watched it on Zoom, but we had it on the TV, and I cried the whole way through because I understood it all. Yeah. I understood all of it. And what I wanted to kind of probably mention as it's come up on the call now, Claire, was about people strive in life to find a purpose. And that's what I feel like a lot of this stuff that's going around on social media now, especially with different coaches, is that people are striving to find a purpose when it's not about finding purpose. Living every single day, breathing is purpose. It's about connecting to what makes you happy, but living every single moment of life. Like it literally, if anyone's not watched Soul, I really urge you to, because when I watched it for the first time last week, I instantly the next day went to my local park with my dog, and they have these xylophones for kids. And I just picked up the sticks and I was just playing the xylophone like a child, because I just remembered, Soul made me remember that we have to live every single moment. Like there's a bit on Soul, which I don't know if you remember, Claire, where the girl doesn't want to come to Earth, but then she's in his body, and she's sat on the street and she's watching like the leaves blow and the helicopter flew down. The day after, when I was doing that xylophone, a helicopter landed on me.
Pippa, you are not going to believe this. A few days ago, I was in a park in St Helens called Taylor Park, and I was on one of them xylophones.
Oh no, there's another synchronicity.
God.
We should do it. We should do a duet, and it's just gone 3-3-3-3 on my recording. It's I've got goosebumps from head to toe. Like my whole body's just like. And it just reminded me to do that, because at one stage, an older version of me, when I was still in ego slightly, I would have walked past that xylophone and gone, I can't play that because it's for kids and people just think I'm weird. But now I was like, you should have seen me. I was like, do, 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 do. And I was just like flicking it up and down, and I loved it. And the kids were walking past and they were smiling their heads off, and I was just in awe of myself. And that's what I remembered from watching Soul, is that when we step outside, it's just to be slower and present, because there's so much going on in nature that we just a lot of us don't see.
Yeah, definitely. But we need to be in the here and now. And, you know, you see so many families when you go for a meal and they're all on phones and devices, and you just think, oh, be with these people, they're with you now. I mean, I lost my mum last year, and that is one thing that really ramped up my sense of mortality. And I am living so much more because I know this could be gone tomorrow. And I don't mean to be doom and gloom, in an inspiring way, like, come on, let's enjoy this day. I mean, I wake up every morning, honestly, and I say, thank you, I'm still here.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my computer screen. It's funny because I've got my my other computer up on the screen, and while I'm just staring at you, this word's just popped out on the screen that I've only just noticed. So on my website, I've got a page, and it's called Ego Coaching and Healing. And I've just realised in the word coaching, it's coaching. I'm just ching, like, literally I've read coaching and ching's just highlighted in my site. That's how like high definition my site is now for seeing things. I'm reading the Tao Te Ching now in Wayne's version, and I've just seen ching in coaching. I'm
gonna have to get Wayne's version.
It's amazing.
What's your favourite quote of the Tao?
The Tao does nothing and leaves nothing undone.
Yeah, I like that one.
Because, I mean, I'm still reading a lot of it, so I think a lot of it will be coming up, but that seems to just resonate with me being the Mother Earth healer as well, is because I'm so connected to nature. So I feel nature does everything just by the energy of the universe, and that's like what the Tao is. The Tao is the way. And I feel like when you step in nature and you connect to nature, you see that the seasons change, the leaves fall, the buds bloom, and that's what our life is. And that's what Wayne talks about. You know, the first 9 months that we're in our mum's womb, everything is made for us. Everything is there perfectly for us. And then when we come out of our mum's womb, it's the same, but then the ego gets in the way, and, you know, people's opinions get in the way, and the material aspect of life stops us from connecting to that Tao. And that's kind of why I love that quote, is because it's not about being lazy and doing nothing. It's about connecting to the nothingness, because life is going to throw everything that it needs at you at the right time. And that's just connecting to that energy is just profound.
Yeah.
What about you?
Do you know what? I could sit here for an hour trying to decide which one, because I love so many of them. But when spring comes, the grass grows by itself. That's just like, come to mind.
That's like the do nothing, isn't it? And the doubt. Yeah. It's just because the grass will grow. It's just, if you can connect to that energy, it's the same energy that grows your fingernails. It grows your hair. It grows your body. It grows your organs. It grows everything. Like, how do you think your body is constantly changing? It's the same energy that's in nature.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, isn't it? Like, I think that's the tip of the episode, is to go and buy either the Tao Te Ching, especially if you're quite new to reading. The Tao Te Ching is quite hard because it is written a long time ago, but then Wayne took a whole year to read the Tao Te Ching, and then he wrote the 81 verses in the modern day kind of aspect. And when you're reading like the verses, it's just like, oh, it's like poetry, but it's not. It's like, yeah. It's so beautiful. And the video you sent me as well, Claire, like, I want to play that and have that on as like a bit of a daily, like, start of the day, just to have it on in the background.
Yeah. I like listening to that.
Before we finish, Claire, I want to just touch on your mystery school, because it really just sounds amazing. I think a lot of listeners would really benefit from it.
Oh, fab, yeah. So Angel Mystery School is an online angel school, and I have an angel membership. It's a 13-month program where you get video modules on the computer. So it could be Archangel Michael and Psychic Protection. It's all different every month, and we also have a monthly meeting as well. So we've got a Guardian Angel Masterclass tonight. That's our January. We're doing Guardian Angel. It's £13 a month, and it opens twice a year. So the doors open on the 1st of March and the 1st of September. So that's Amazing. Angel Mystery School, and the book is called The Female Archangels, Reclaim Your Power with the Lost Teachings of the Divine Feminine. And that's by Hay House.
I love how you said lost teachings. It reminds me of that too. I love it. And I love how you booked today, 11th of January at 11 a.m.
I know, I didn't even realise I'd done that, but you noticed it straight away, didn't you?
I did. And I said, and I love that because that's like a big, powerful number for me and Chris, because we're twin flames and we started our journey on the 11th of the 11th, 2019.
My daughter is 11/11.
Oh, it's just so beautiful. Like when you connect to this energy, guys, it's just, I just feel so calm and I have let go a lot. I just trust more.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
What can I ask, Pippa? What is your tricky question? What's your favourite oracle deck?
Right now, before I got new ones for Christmas, was Doreen Virtue Messages from the Angels, because they were just literally like my Bible for like doing readings.
Yeah.
Right now, I have two that I use in the morning, and because I'm so connected to my native ancestors at the minute, because I love Native American history, I've got my Native Spirit by Denise Lynn, and then I've got Kyle Gray's The Angel Guide, his new one. I just love those two in the morning.
Yeah, I've got them cards now, because you got me thinking when you was asking about tarot cards and oracle cards, and actually, when I was reading tarot, there weren't any oracle cards. They weren't out there. But I've actually pulled as a card from the Archangel Michael deck, and the card, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. I've pulled one from Kyle's deck as well, the Angel Guide Oracle, and they're both Archangel Michael, but obviously the first deck is Archangel Michael deck, and it says, be gentle with yourself. And on the card, it's a man, and he's looking up. He's got his eyes shut, but he's tilting his chin up like we did in the exercise, and he's got a lamb on his shoulders. I feel like that's kind of the exercise that we've just done. We had our chin up. We had the angel with the hands just gently on our shoulders.
And can I just tell you what happened this morning? I connected to St. Francis, and his picture that he sent me had the doves on and the lamb on it. And I'm really connected to the Moses story, to do, the obviously the shepherd, the Moses and all. Oh God, it's amazing what happens, isn't it?
Oh wow! So So the imagery is giving us a different message, but the message of the card is be gentle with ourselves, and I think that's all being patient and kind, because of what's going on in the world. We can be harsh. We can. There's always room for more self-love and self-care, isn't there? So all being gentle and taking our time and not pushing ourselves for like loads of results, because I feel like this year is a year of healing, deep transformation, letting go of our old selves, our own belies. I don't call them beliefs, I call them belies. And then the other card I got, out of Kyle's new deck, it says angelic protection, and it's the Archangel Michael on the front of the card. So call in the angels, ask them in, invite them into your life, ask them to shield you every direction. Ask them to help you to let go of what it is that you're ready to release.
Yeah, and all last week was about cord cutting, and I was going to record a meditation to do with my Archangel Michael coming to cut the cords, and that was all last week. He was coming through to me every day. Like I was seeing images of him on social media. Like everywhere I looked, it was about Archangel Michael. So it's like that's the confirmation that was like, yep, exactly what I needed.
Guys, give you a kick up the bum now, Pippa.
I know. I've just felt it. My bum's a bit sore now. But I could talk to you for hours, Claire. Like I just really could. There's just so much that I love about this new way of living, and it is amazing. And I really hope the listeners have took a lot from this episode. And is there anything else that you wanted to mention before we finish?
No, just if anyone wants to find out more, they can head over to Facebook, which is Claire Stone, Ancient Wisdom Modern Woman. Instagram, Claire Stone 444.
Yeah, and I'll put all those links in the notes as well for us both, so people can find you dead easy. But yeah, I've just loved talking to you, Claire, and I know we can just talk for hours about all this stuff, and we're just getting to know each other, which is amazing.
Thank you so much for inviting me on to your amazing show.
You're so welcome. And guys, please tag Claire and I on social media. Let us know what your biggest takeaway was. And just keep being present, keep connecting. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. So just share it on your social media and give us a review and reach out to us both if you've got any questions. But we'll leave you there. I hope you're all well, and I'm sending lots of love. Bye for now, guys.
Bye.